morning, boys and girls. This lesson is for your reading. So like I said before, reading is going to be about researching your topic and taking notes. Yesterday you made subtopics based on the books that you looked through in the table of contents and skimming through the books. So my penguin subtopics are right here: life cycle, the penguin's body, rookeries, mating, and baby penguins. When you're reading through your books, you're not reading every single page of every single book. When you're doing research for something, you're searching specifically for subtopics that you're researching. So based on the subtopics that you wrote, that's the information that you're looking for. So look through those books for your specific subtopics. If there's a chapter about something that you're not researching, you can pass through it. You don't have to read it. The goal of researching animals is going to be taking notes. Here's our chart that we used back when we were writing information books about how to take notes. I will post this also for you so that you could see it if you need to. These are all the different ways that you can take notes. If you have Post-its, boxes and bullets is a really big one we use, but main idea and details. You can draw a web, a Venn diagram to compare and contrast something. You can make a T-chart, or you can even make a sketch. But remember, a sketch should be a quick sketch, not drawing a picture for 15 minutes. So today we're going to go and look back at the read aloud that I read this morning on rookeries, because that's one of my subtopics, and I'm going to practice taking some notes that's going to help me for my writing later. So I'm looking back at my book. Penguins nest in large groups called rookeries. Most penguins spend the year hunting far away from their rookery. They return to the rookery once a year to have babies. So I'm actually going to do a boxes and bullets for that. I think that would be a good way to note take here. So my main idea is that they nest in large groups called rookeries. I'm going to make sure that my main idea is a complete sentence, not a word. So it shouldn't be rookeries. They nest in large groups called rookeries. Let me look at my details. They return once a year to have babies. I'm actually going to go to the next paragraph where it talked about how rookeries they're in like a lot of different places, right? They're on the shore, they're inland, they are bare ice, they can be in forest or cave. So I'm going to include that in one of my bullets. Are in various places, and I can actually list those places underneath with little arrows, and I'll show you that in a second. Inland, bare ice, forests, caves. And my last detail is going to be how they range in size, that they can be really small or more than 1 million. That's pretty crazy. So they range in size. And I'm going to add a detail that says, they don't say how many is a few, so I'm just going to write few to 1 million. So here's my notes for rookeries right here. It's a lot of information that I have. That's most of this page that I put on one post-it, one boxes and bullets. Okay. Now, since you're going to be reading a lot of books, you might find that you'll see the same kind of information in other books. So as I was skimming through my books, I found another book that talked about rookeries right over here. So I don't really have to do a completely different post-it note since it's a different book. I can add to what I have. Or maybe I will do something different. I'm going to read it and find out what I think is going to be best. Penguin party. A colony of a penguin reaches its breeding ground by May. Most breeding grounds are in sheltered areas on the pack ice, where large ice cliffs or steep walls of ice help protect the penguins from strong winds. The colony of penguins in its breeding ground is called a rookery. Breeding ground. Oh, so maybe I could add that. Some rookeries are small, whereas others are large. They may be as many as 40,000 emperor penguins in a single rookery. So I'm actually going to add that it can be used as a breeding ground because everything else seems pretty I think I know already, but that's kind of new information. So I'm actually just gonna add one more detail. I'm gonna add one more dot right over here. And they use it as a breeding ground, which means that they're gonna be making baby penguins. So as you're doing your research today, when you start taking your notes, remember that when you come across another book that talks about the same subtopic, you can go back to your original notes and you can add to that. Make sure you're keeping all of your notes in one place. So you should have a few pieces of paper, or if you have an additional notebook that you can keep them in, but all your notes should be kept in one place so that you keep them nice and organized for your writing later.